Good afternoon and welcome back to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm your host Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me at MarketSite, we have Steve Cohen. He's the COO and co-founder of Basis Tech, and we're going to focus on the elephant in the room with artificial intelligence, and that is the black box. I can't wait to hear what this is all about. But Steve, thanks for joining us at MarketSite.
Sure, pleasure.
What is artificial intelligence? We hear about AI all day long, but really, what is it?
There's a lot of talk about AI in the popular press, and has been for quite a while. And there's a perception of AI as being robots in the street and Skynet and all that. And I think those are worthwhile conversations. Someday we may have to worry about things like that. Right now, AI is a way for computers to learn in a similar way to humans how to make decisions or how to do predictions. Right. So the technology of AI is really a matter of saying, we're not going to describe what, say, a cat is in a picture, but rather we're going to show a computer a bunch of examples of a cat, many examples of a cat, and have it figure out how to break that down and figure it out.
Well, as you can imagine, we talk about AI in the capital markets all the time, particularly as it comes to trading and developing programs and all that. What is the value proposition for the financial space?
Well, there's two areas. There's the alpha, the making extra money area, and the area that our company focuses on, which is the risk management, risk mitigation, and risk understanding. And they're both equally valid. I don't have a lot to say about what's happening on the alpha side, although our technology can be used for that. Mm-hmm. We focus, as I said, on the risk. Our company has been doing business for over 2 decades, largely focused on national intelligence and counterterror. And they have a big focus on how to use AI to find information. And we're talking about natural language processing, natural language understanding, using these technologies to find information to make better decisions about what's good, bad, or indifferent.
What's the black box problem? What is that?
So the black box problem is one that we've encountered for years. Even our own engineers had this problem years ago. And that is that the AI systems don't automatically explain themselves. It's a black box. You have inputs, you have a picture. I use the cat example because It's easy to understand. You feed the picture in, and the device, the system says, this is a cat or this isn't a cat. What's happening inside has been hard to explain. And for a lot of applications, like automatic cat identification, nobody really cares if it works. But on the risk side, on compliance, when you have government regulators, when you have older institutions, banks, even newer institutions, it's a problem because sometimes you have organizations or people who are concerned that they don't know how the decision was made, or sometimes you actually have a regulatory reason why it really matters. This is being addressed now. A lot of the technologists are developing what they call explainable AI, ways to understand what's happening inside. But I think that that has to happen in parallel with people appreciating how to measure the output of these systems.
So if I understand it correctly, and forgive me, I'm not a technology expert, so it understands what a cat is. It's either a cat or it's not a cat. Now, what if it's a dog dressed up in a cat costume? Is that part of the risk, like the black box issue?
That is the concern.
Okay.
Right, and what makes it a cat, right? That's a question you might ask. Mm-hmm. Now, I might show you many pictures of cats, and you'll identify them pretty well. But you might also screw up if I showed you a dark photo of a dog in a cat costume.
Right. Right. And that's what we're looking to do with AI, is to make that a better process.
And to explain what makes it a cat. Is it the shape of the ears? Is it the length of the tail? Mm-hmm. So that you can pull that information out and be able to explain, say, to a regulator why this person wasn't, why a SAR wasn't initiated for a particular individual.
So how do you bridge that gap between the innovative part of AI and all the potential that it has, and then also managing the regulatory speed bumps?
Well, yeah, as I was saying before, so the first step is the folks in the technology side have realized that they need to do a better job of coming up with this explainable AI. Mm-hmm. And there are a lot of new techniques to do that, to make it easier. But on the flip side is it's really important that people understand that if you have a system that does something, you really have to learn how to measure it at the outputs. If you have pictures on the input and it does a really good job of saying these are cats and these aren't, then that's not 100% of the value you care about, but it's most of it.
Right. Well, I learned more about AI in the past 5 minutes. You do a great job of explaining it, and I think that's a really big part, is the education, like you had said. So thank you so much for joining us at MarketSite today, and thank you for joining me. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.